All right, April, you're up.
Hello. Thanks for joining us on this busy pre-holiday evening. I am April Hulkenbrink. I am currently a senior gold Ruby ambassador, and I started products around January 23. Yes, no, 24. And um, I honestly, I was just searching for a solution. I was struggling miserably, chronically, lots of pain with constipation. And I honestly was not looking for anything to do with network marketing, but I just wanted a product that would work. And my good friend Brandy was sharing about how a magnesium supplement was keeping her regular. And that kind of got me interested in the products. I I think I just didn't believe that they were going to work. So I was taking them and doing the things, but not really like counting on them. And then a few months in, I had what I call my epiphany, and I noticed the products were working. And Brandy kept saying, "Share, share," and I'm like, "No." So just quick backstory: I was a part of several network marketing companies, so I have been doing this basically since I was 18. I have done something and tried many different things. And honestly, it put way more money into than I ever made. Like, I don't know that I ever hardly made much money at all with any of them combined. And my last network marketing that I was with for a couple of years, I was burned and I was hurt very, very badly. And so I wanted nothing to do with anything like this ever again. I was even very skeptical of even trying the magnesium for that reason. And then, like I said, when I had my epiphany, I realized the products worked, and I was like, okay, well, if they work for me, then I'm sure they can work for somebody else, and somebody else is struggling and needs a solution too. And it would really help us financially to get our products paid for, because my husband was also starting to take them. So I just was like, I'm just gonna get them paid for. I don't want to do this whole business thing. That didn't last long because I'm a very all in or nothing person. So I quickly jumped in. It's actually a year ago, the end of July. So this will be my first anniversary. So I'm super excited about that. Um, but I started sharing and it just kind of blew up, and people were very interested in gut health and what I was doing. And I was losing weight and I was losing inflammation, and great things were happening. And so I quickly saw that, like, the fast start graphics that we share, last year it was doubled. And so I saw the $2,000 and I was like, hey, that would be super great to have an extra $2,000 for us. I talked to my husband about it, and a few days in, I was like, okay, I will never forget this moment when we were sitting on our back patio steps, and I said, what if this financially blesses us? Like, what if it like actually is income producing for us? Um, so, like I said, it quickly blew up. Insert the cruise contest to last year, and everybody, even people from corporate and my upline, were all like, "You're going to earn this. You're going to earn this," and I'm like, "No way!" Like, again, all the other experiences with network marketing companies, I've seen the trips. They don't even phase you because there's no chance, right? Like, it's only the top leaders. No, you don't even think about it. But I quickly, so I started in July, obviously got right to work. Cruise contest opened in September, and by September, I had earned my invitation to the cruise for me and my husband. And then by, I think it's October, I had completely swept the cruise contest. So that means I earned every tier of it, including a $2,000 shopping spree to Bloomingdale's. So that was super huge and exciting. So I got to take my husband on our first cruise, and it was quite the experience. My highlight from the cruise, I just want to share this because, for one, if you're sitting there like, no way I can earn the trip, because right now they're rolled out the Cancun trip, and you're like, no, that can't even be on my radar. That's way too big. That can't be for me. I was there. I get it. But it can be if you just start helping people. Like, it's really just about helping people feel their best. Like, that's our biggest goal. Like, that's why we're here. Um, and so on the cruise, my husband, has been very supportive. And in other network marketings, it was a very like taboo, sticky situation in our relationship. But with this, I've always been upfront. I've always been like, here's my goals, here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm doing it. And so he went to the cruise with me. And on the shopping spree, actually, he met Alec Clark, who is a co founder. And he had just a genuine conversation with him and just got to know him as a person. And that like will forever be like a core memory for us in our Plexus journey of just like, funny story, Bloomingdale's is tiered, and both my husband and Alec were trying to hide out of like and get away from all the things, and then that's how they connected and had their conversation. So that was a really big deal for us. And then just obviously to be spoiled by Plexus and see how much they truly pour into. That was another thing from the beginning of July last year of like just how much they pour in, not only financially, but like the incentives they give. Like I said, the cruise, and I went to my first convention a few weeks ago, and just the culture is amazing. Um, what else? I think that was my those were my highlights of kind of my story. I love to talk about this. I could talk about this all night long, but I'm told to keep it short and sweet, so that's what I'm doing. But if you want to hear more about my story, product, or business, I would love to chat. And now I'm super excited to introduce my good friend Sarah. Sarah is actually a co-worker in our 8 to 4 jobs, and she was kind of interested in the products, but I quickly caught her for the business vision, and so I will let her share that for you.
Awesome. Thank you, April. Yeah, so my name is Sarah Brinton. I actually just started with Plexus at the beginning of May of this year. So I was already kind of on a health journey. And because I was passionate about this, I was talking about it at work. So I had been a gym goer in the past. So fitness and, those health things were not really something that was new to me. So I was kind of excited to get back into it. I started taking some supplements that I had just kind of found on Amazon. As we Google and we just find what we think is going to work for us. And so I was taking those, but again, I was excited about this journey. And I was also taking these supplements like on my lunch breaks. I was in my office and I had like my supplements, and April was very patient with me. She didn't say anything right away, but one day specifically, she was like, I just have to tell you, like, those supplements that are on your desk are probably not doing what you think they're doing. So she explained to me that, the difference between methylated supplements versus non methylated and kind of what that looks like. And that basically I was probably just peeing out most of my supplements that I was taking, and they weren't really affecting me. And I had been in a really bad place with my mental health. Mental health is something I talk about a lot on my page. I was in a really bad place and struggling with that. And so that was a big part of the motivation for me taking my health seriously. And she knew about that. She knew about some of those struggles. And if you've ever struggled with mental health, you know that one of the things that comes with that struggle can be low energy. And that's exactly where I was. So even as I was moving out of a place mentally where mentally I was starting to get better, I was still really struggling with my energy. And so April brought me some Slim to try, and I tried those, and I loved them. Within 2 days of taking the Slim, I was already feeling more energy. So that's kind of my product story. But what really got me hooked with Plexus was actually the business. So I honestly started more for the business. I've been always like pretty entrepreneurial. I have sold stuff online since I was like 15 years old, just because of my age, and I've kind of grown up with that. So that's been kind of my experience. So it really didn't phase me to start posting on social media, to make videos, to go live. Like that felt natural to me. That felt like something that I could do. So I started in the second week of May sharing these products. And before the end of the month of May, I triple ranked. So I reached gold, and I made close to $3,000 with the bonuses that were that month. And part of why that meant so much to me was because that money paid for me to be able to go to convention. But then it also paid for me to be able to go on vacation with my husband for our anniversary. So that money was huge for me right off the bat within the first 3 weeks. And it just really was amazing that just to see how that happened and to see that it wasn't anything special about me. But what I tell people when it comes to this business is that it's about consistency and doing the same right things every single day. So if you are showing up every day and you are chatting about these products that mean something to you, you're showing up every day sharing something that is a blessing. You know, Alec Clark, our founder, says, if you are blessed to be a blessing. So if you're showing up every single day with this mindset that these products benefit me, this business benefits me, then you're able just genuinely and naturally to share that with other people. You know, I was still working that 8 to 4 with April as this was happening. You know, I still had responsibilities. I still have, you know, a husband to take care of, a house to take care of, but showing up and doing those same right things every single day is what builds this business. So that doesn't mean that it's always easy, right? Sometimes it's hard to show up. It's hard to keep doing those things, but it's simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. It's just a few right things every single day. And the beauty of this business is that as you are being blessed and you're doing those right things every day, then you are able to bless others. Just in the short time, the product testimonies that I've heard from people that I've shared have been amazing. One of my girls, I mean, she's talked about how these products have truly changed her life. And it's contagious, it's infectious. Not only the joy for the products, but also the joy for the business and what this business can do, which obviously is the focus of this call. So if you have any specific questions about doing this business or anything, you can always chat with one of us. You can chat with me. I'd love to talk to you about that. But again, for me, it's just been a huge blessing. I'm so grateful for April that she cared about me enough to share this. And that's one thing I think sometimes we forget. We don't want to be pushy. We don't want to push this on people. But because April cared about me as a person, as a friend, she shared this business with me so that it would be a blessing for me and then I can in turn bless other people. So that's kind of my story. I'm so grateful for Plexus. I'm going to turn it over to Brandy and she's going to share her Plexus story.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's really hard to follow people with really good stories because it's like I don't want to beat a dead horse and say the same things, but I kind of have similar stories to them. I'm going to dive right into the opportunity side because that's why we're all here, right? I have a fantastic testimony as far as products go. If you want to know more about that, I'd love to tell you about it. But what I am addicted to is like I get people started on the products and I get so addicted to hearing their product testimonies and what they're getting from this. And if we're not out there sharing about these products that we love, then all of these people are not going to have the success that they have. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what my journey with Plexus has been. And it's not quick. I wish I could have like, an hour, but I respect your time. So I'm going to do this in 5 minutes. All right. Timer set. No, we won't do that. Anyway, okay, so network marketing. I did not want anything to do with this, not even a little bit, okay? Was not on my radar. I am a former band director, right? Band directors, we have no marketing experience, zero, right? Now I'm a homeschool mom and I also work on a farm with my husband. I drive tractors all day long, right? Knew nothing about network marketing except that I didn't want anything to do with it, all right? So I fell into this for the products and I feel like everybody on this call tonight we were all kind of in that same boat. Like, nah, we didn't really want this business, but it fell into our laps and here we are. I'm going to tell you, there is money in this business. So I actually went Fast Start Senior Gold. In the first 4 months of Plexus, I made over $10,000. I swept a contest for where did we go? We went to Punta Cana and I swept that contest, had no idea what that meant. Megan was like, oh my gosh, you won this contest. And I'm like, I ain't going on that. Like, I don't want this. This isn't what I'm doing. Right. But I went, my husband and I went, and it was a fantastic trip. We got to meet corporate and all the things. And April and Sarah have both touched on how corporate treats us. It's not just corporate, but like the diamonds, the top people in this company, they come up to those of us who were just first starting and give us all this encouragement and love. But let's talk about money, right? Let's talk a little bit about it because I think that people have this misconception of like, okay, if you're not constantly like recruiting people or doing this, that, and the other, you're not going to make any money. And Plexus actually has a fantastic compensation plan. And it's why I keep sharing. It's why I'm sharing the business because it is like residual. So if you only add 5 people and those 5 people continue to order, you're good. Like you're going to keep getting paid for them. It's not like you sign them up once and then you never see anything again. It is true residual income. But what I like about it is how family friendly all of it is. So I'm still homeschooling. I took my mom with me to Scottsdale, Arizona to see corporate. I took my daughter to the Bahamas. She's 7. She went to the Bahamas. Like what 7-year-old gets to do that for free, right? Okay. And we get all of this stuff and like they are so good. Like Rosie was like this star of the show every time corporate walked by. They were like, Rosie, like they know my kid's name, you know? So I just want to say this business opportunity was something that I did not expect, right? But I definitely have been so massively blessed by it. Blessed by other people, the community, seeing other people thrive in it, being accepted in here. We are all about like being hype people, like we hype each other up, we encourage each other. I have sideline sisters. I see them in the chat right now, like cheering us on as we're doing this call. So the business is just phenomenal. You get addicted to helping people and you just can't stop, right? So I don't know, was that 5 minutes? My story is so long, like I said, but I really want Justin and Megan to tell you their side. Before I introduce Megan, I do want to say something, because here's the thing about network marketing, right? Network marketing. It's cold messages are ick, right? Ugh. You get that message in your inbox and you're like, nope, they're selling me something. Okay, I got one of those, right? I got one and it was this cold message. Didn't know this lady from Adam, right? And she was telling me about these products. Well, guess what? I was looking for gut health products that particular day. I actually was getting ready to put in a brand new big giant order for all of my supplements because I have Lyme disease and we do lots of supplements over here, right? And that day I was very frustrated with the amount of supplements that I was taking and the amount of money that I was spending on them. Megan Goff sent me a message out of the blue asking me if I would be interested in looking at these supplements, right? My first instinct was absolutely not, because I don't like MLMs, but I gave it a shot. All right. That was 2 years ago in July. I think July 20 something is my actual date that I ordered. I didn't start sharing instantly, but that's when I ordered. That was 2 years ago and I have not looked back since. It's just been so much fun. So I'm so thankful that all of you are here, but I'm very, very thankful that Justin and Megan are on this call because they are the reason that we are all actually in this chat room. So I'm going to throw it over to them.
Okay. Oh my word.
Hey guys.
Talk about a stranger saying yes. That was what Brandy did. She was like the easiest yes, one of the easiest yeses ever. Hello guys. I am super excited to be sharing our story again. It is the same short story that we have shared for 10 years. This is crazy to me, actually over 10 years. But I had so many people reach out to me about Plexus. I was like, no, thank you. I don't need weight loss. I don't need, I'm not diabetic. I don't think I have any need for that. Well, guess what happened? We got sick. Our farmhouse had mold in it. And I ended up going doctor to doctor to try to figure out what in the world was wrong with me, for one, and for two, like just some sort of answers. And I ended up working with a naturopath for about 1.5 years. And then I ended up hearing about Plexus on social media, the power of social media. And guess what they were talking about? These friends were not talking about weight loss and blood sugar balancing, which I actually needed that part, but they were talking about gut health. And I tracked with gut health. And so what I realized, I ended up transitioning over from what my naturopath had me do to Plexus supplements. And what I realized is they were much more, they were less expensive and more comprehensive, because Plexus supplements are combination products. And so I appreciated that it wasn't just gut health that we were working on, but we were also going to work on gut health and blood sugar balance. Even though I wasn't diabetic, I was actually dealing with low blood sugars after baby number 5. And so I'm so thankful that multiple friends continue to reach out to me and people were sharing on social media, because I ended up saying yes. And I actually didn't start for a business opportunity, although I will say I have been entrepreneurial growing up. My parents encouraged that in us kids. And once I started the products, really what got me was when I gave our son Benjamin, who was 4 at the time, I gave him the probiotic. And I call it the Superman probiotic because it has enzymes and an antifungal in addition to 5 different strains of bacteria. And guess what happened with his skin issues? They vanished in a month. And it was that at that point, I was like, all the moms need to know. That's literally why I started telling people. It's like all the moms need to know. I felt like it took years to crack the code with William. Like, why does he have skin issues? Like, I'm trying to do all the natural things, and eat all the healthy things. And it can actually be a gut imbalance. Gut dysbiosis is a thing. So if you have not ever heard of that, Google it, learn about it. We would be happy to share more about that part. But I started to share. I was super scared, but I had done research on the products. And so I had massive belief in what the products could do for people. And we both felt, even like a little before Plexus came, like we were praying for an opportunity so he could be home more. And we just felt like something big was coming. We didn't really know what it was, but it ended up being Plexus. Never in a million years would we have ever chosen this path. It's hilarious to us because we thought, he'd probably do some sort of contracting business with the boys. But hello, we're proud network marketers. We share health and wellness supplements for a living, and we help people build businesses and make a lot of money. So, Justin, you can share from there.
Yeah, so like Megan said, we weren't looking for a business in network marketing, but I was praying for a business opportunity. And so and I was in road construction at the time, and I loved what I did. It was great, but just the time away from home was my real issue. Because it was, in the summer, we could literally be gone 12, 14, 16 hours a day. It was just, and which is fine. I was grateful for the opportunity. I was grateful for a good job, but I just got to a point where I thought, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, all I do is go to work, and I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to work. I get home sometimes after the kids are already in bed. So I miss them for a whole 24-hour plus period of time. And I'm like, there's got to be something. There's got to be more to life than just this. Mm-hmm. And so I just started praying for a business opportunity. And like Megan said, I thought it'd be something along the lines of, start a concrete company or something I could do with the boys or whatever. But in the middle of all that, Megan got sick, and so she, and she has testimonies and videos of all that stuff about how the products have helped her. But for sake of time, just on the opportunity end of things, she got sick, and I just remember her starting, and we had to go through this process so that we could help other people later. We didn't know it at the time, but like I remember in the old house one night, the doctors were told her all the issues she was experiencing were in her head. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Yet there was something wrong with her body. Like, she was physically ill. And so we had to experience that so that we could help other people, because lo and behold, a lot of people are told stuff like that. Uh-huh. And so we didn't know that. And so we had to experience that. And I remember telling her one night, I said, because Megan said, she's like, there's something wrong with my thyroid. I know it is, regardless what the doctors say. And I said, you know what? I said, all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. We love him. We're called according to his purpose, and he's going to work this thyroid issue out for good. Somehow, some way, someday, we are going to help some old lady at church with a thyroid issue. Because in my mind, I didn't know about thyroid issues, and I was happy. I would have been happy with that. And however, she signed up for the products, and we all started on the products, fell in love with the products very quickly. And then I came home one day, and she's like, hey, there's a business opportunity with Plexus. And my first reaction was absolutely not. We're not doing this. Network marketing, MLM, all these things, they're illegal, they're pyramid schemes, not interested. My name's important to me. My testimony is important. I'm not ruining it on some fly-by-night company. And she's like, well, do you mind if I do it? I said, sure. I said, I'll be your biggest cheerleader, but I'm not telling the guys at work about this pink drink, for crying out loud. Like, it's a road construction job. Like, how am I going to sell this? Like, I'm not telling anybody. I said, but I'll support you. She said, okay. So she started to share on social media. She was a stay-at-home mom, probably 5 kids at the time, I think.
Mhm.
And so she started to share, and then 2 weeks went by, and she got her first check, her first commissions check. And back then, they sent a check stub in the mail, and then direct deposited the money in our account. And so when I came home one day, and she's like, "You're never going to believe what they sent me." And I'm like, "What is it?" And she showed me the check. I'm like, I didn't even congratulate her. Like, my view of work was go to work, you work an hour, you get paid an hour, you go home, right? And I didn't understand business then the way I do now. And so in my brain, I'm like, okay, they're sending her money. I'm like, and the first thing I asked her was, is this legal? I was like, because this is not, it was totally outside of my understanding of business. And so started looking at it, checked the bank, there's actual money in the account, and I'm like,
Well, I was helping
what the
people.
heck?
I
And but she didn't
remember-
even know. We didn't, like, again, she was just helping people.
I didn't care really about the money. I was just
And the money just kind of showed up. And so, like, we had no idea on commissions, compensation plan, anything.
no clue.
We're so busy. We're still busy. But so I started looking at it. I'm like, okay, this is legit. I'm like, I've been praying for a business opportunity. I love these products, and they just paid you $300, I think is what it was. And I'm like, it takes me a lot of hours away from home to make $300. So it's a no brainer. I'm going to look into this thing called network marketing. I'm going to look into this thing as far as the business side of Plexus, the compensation plan side of Plexus. And so I did, and I started to study, and I started to see, like, one, these products are incredible. The corporate leadership is incredible. The compensation plan is incredible, and this industry has the stamp of approval of all, like, the giants in business. So because I started just reading about network marketing, and I started to see Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki. If you're not familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, he's great. All these different people were putting their stamp of approval on network marketing, and I'm like, okay, I think the 2 broke friends that I had that said network marketing was terrible, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to listen to these billionaires who are putting their stamp of approval on this, and my own experience.
Mhm.
And I'll just say this really fast, is that in my view, I had never had a negative experience with network marketing. I just didn't have any knowledge
Mhm.
of the industry. I didn't have any knowledge of it. And so we usually attack what we don't understand. That's exactly what I've done in the past. But I went to work. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. And then I just started, I'm like, the opportunity here is so big, I can't not do anything. And so I just started sharing that same pink drink with the guys on the road construction crew. And then before too long, the guys with, like, big burly guys, big flame tattoos everywhere, and everybody's got and probably a Marlboro Red. But however, they had their pink drink. And so they were cruising around, on their excavator or roller or whatever it was. And it just kicked off something. And that started in the summer of 2015. And we worked hard.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not a shoo-in. Like,
we
it's not-
didn't just put up a post and then what ended up on a beach somewhere. Like,
It's work.
we really worked hard at it and shared with a lot of people. And so for me, from the summer of 2015, by the time fall of 2016 came around, just a little bit over a year, we had already doubled my road construction salary, and I left road construction September 2016, and I've been home ever since. And so that's a real fast testimony. I've got so many more things I could say, but it's been amazing. It's been incredible. So as far as an opportunity goes, like, I heard a guy say recently, he said, network marketing isn't perfect, it's just better. It's just an amazing experience, and it's an amazing opportunity with that's unlimited.
Yeah,
Really, there
there's
is no limit to the opportunity
There's no cap.
that network marketing and Plexus has.
Okay, so we're going to just wrap this up really quickly.
Yep.
It's obviously been a blessing to all of us who have shared on the call today. And it doesn't matter if you're just starting out. What were you going to say?
I'm just going to say something too, because I want to. I could, on the business side of this, I could go on for days, literally, because it's so incredible. But some people might think, okay, so it's great. You make a couple $100 and you pay for your products. Like literally, when I say there's no limit in network marketing, there's zero limit. Like the network marketing company wants you to make as much money as possible. Like that's what they want for you. There is no cap, there is no ceiling. When I say the income potential is unlimited, it is. I know some people make enough to pay for their products. I know some people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I have a good friend that made 330 million, not in Plexus, but another network marketing company, a guy I met throughout the years. And so like so the opportunity is as big as someone wants to make it. I just want to throw that out there. So
Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this up to keep it succinct, but we wanted to encourage, if you have not started a product experience, we want to encourage you to do that. We are running this incentive until midnight tonight. So if you have not made a decision, make a decision, go back to the person that invited you to the call, or if you're scrolling on Facebook and you're listening right now, we would be happy to help answer questions. And we just encourage you to, if you have not considered the business opportunity side of Plexus, to consider it, to pray about it, to research it. We're open books. You can ask us questions, but it has been such a gift, such a blessing. And we want to share that with other people, because we believe that there's people out there like us that we're praying for an opportunity, praying for more time freedom, praying for more time together as a family. And so it is such a gift to be able to say yes more than we say no, to go pick up and travel with our kids, to have the freedom to homeschool our kids. Just this morning, we said yes to an opportunity for 2 of our kids to go fly out to DC for a really cool experience with their grandparents for the 4th of July. So how awesome to be able to just really fast be able to pay for plane tickets and do a quick decision like that. But that's the kind of things we get to say yes to, because we said yes 10 years ago to this opportunity. And I know April said this at the very beginning of the call. She said, she asked her husband, what if this could change everything? And I will add, what if this could change everything? For us, it has. And it's been such a gift and such a blessing. So we wanted to share with you guys today so you can make that decision if you feel led to. Thank you for being on with us today, you guys. Have a happy 4th. See you soon.
see you guys.